how about quality of these postings? Do you have like a personal ambition that every entry here has to match a certain quality criteria, or is it very intuitive and you just go along?
The very Swiss special.
It's Swiss.
Quality in everything. But I think perhaps I'm thinking more about saying that what is the meaning of quality to me. Whether I make sometimes spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes, I do. I say that quite openly. English is not my first language, although I have kind of been educated in English. I do. There are people who will point out and say this should have been done better. There are journalists who will say that we will have a more rigorous process of checking this. But I think what I really get to more than anybody else is insight, is viewpoint. Which really I think is what people are interested in. They're not really interested in English or not.
Also very long blogs.
Yeah, that's right. I was about to say that. I mean, when people talk of a blog, this is more leaning to an article than a blog.
When you give your opinion or your analysis about the company, and Google is very visible, do people ever go after you? I have a newsletter in my learning center area, and I had every once in a while when I had the news, somebody would call me and protest, how can I write this? And I was almost fearful, or talking about lawyers. But the culture here is somehow similar, or is it a tricky thing to write?
It is a tricky thing to write, but what you must remember is that the blog is not a journalist, it's an analyst. There's a big difference between that. A journalist is somebody who wants to get controversy, who wants to create a story. In fact, it is not even about the latest and the breaking stories. For example, if iPhone is released, I am not obligated to post about that blog, because it's not news. You know, news, there are enough places to get the news. What I do provide is analysis, and that actually is not as controversial to my view. It is a balanced viewpoint. It is like Gartner or Orwell or those sort of people who actually look into that space. I have criticized some companies, and they have come back to me saying that some of it is unfair. I have posted their comments as well. So this is how I do it. So I will very rarely stop a comment from being published. There is another class of comments which is very common, is that people try to advertise on that. Meaning that it's like when I spoke at the European Parliament, this thing. The question is not a question. The question is an advertisement, really. So there's a long statement they will make about something. At the end of it, there will be something else, and links to their site. Now this is the blatant advertisement on my blog, because it is so very well known in Google terms. If I link back to that, obviously they are very happy to do that. So I make a judgment to think that this is not something I want to do.